So Medusa Saber not only is a good character being released into the game, but she's also bringing a, well, I would say a new event into the game, but if you're a veteran player, you've seen this before. This is what is dubbed as a tower event. It's one of those events where you have to fight a ton of battles, earn a bunch of rewards, and that's really actually about it. It's really just kind of testing how good your box is because of how the mechanic in this event actually works, but I find these to be really fun, but they can get a little tedious at times. I mean, we're talking hundreds upon hundreds of battles here, but if you think about it in the correct lens, that's hundreds upon hundreds of rewards. So as per usual, I'm going to break down this event and all the stuff that we're going to be getting, how to get through the event, all that good stuff. And if you like being informed and you just like these videos, like seeing an FGO video appear in your sub box every day, a like on the video would go a long way, and maybe even a little subscription as it's free and helps me out more than you know. But enough plugging my own channel on my own channel, and let's start diving into this event. And it's actually rather a simple one. If you've never played a tower event before, here is the basic gameplay loop. You go into a node using only servants that you have, and you will, fight the guys, beat them. You can just bring an AoE and clear it quick, easy. No real huss, no fuss. You can use servants you don't really use before, which you're probably going to be doing at some point anyway, but then those servants go on a cooldown and you can't use them again until they fully rested up. Now, you may say, well, that's going to take forever. If this is like an 8-hour cooldown, I'm going to be at this for weeks, but don't worry, there are rest areas that you could put your servants in that help them recover faster. So again, that's why I really like these type of events, because it does incentivize you to use different servants in your Chaldea. Now, don't think that this is like an advanced quest situation where the fights are going to be extremely difficult or kind of gimmicky. Most of them are pretty small nodes with enemies that you can one-shot with most AoE NPs, or you could just face card your way through it, crit your way through it. These really aren't all that hard of nodes. And again, that is where maybe the tedium of the event comes in, because you are farming a lot of these nodes. And when you start getting to the bottom of the barrel of your Chaldea, you're not using very good servants. But again, that's the appeal for me. You might find that annoying. And at some point, even someone like me is going to find it annoying, because you're going to be like, wow, 200 floors, that is a lot of fights that I have to go through. But do also note that if this sounds annoying, there is some support going into this event. First and foremost, there is the free-to-play CE Artisanal Soul, which is not a great one if you're looking for a CE to max level. This is not going to be like the first day of filming or the Jacques de Molay one that we're going to be getting during the Wangina event. It's like something like Those Who Walk the Stars or something along those lines. None of these great free-to-play CEs that you want to max out to level 100 because they're big attack CEs and their effects are really powerful. The effects on this aren't terrible, but you're really just going to be using it during this event. I guess the debuff immunity might have some circumstantial use. If your account is a bit more limited, you could use it for that, and it does give you a little bit of crit damage and a little bit of starting NP gauge, 50% when maximum and broken. But the main reason you want to use it is because while you use it during this event, if it's equipped to one of your servants, they get 100% bond bonus. Yeah, that is quite a substantial amount of bond, which does mean if you're really trying to bond max people, you can kind of AP calc your way through it and kind of time your timers to see how you can get the most bond possible. Frankly, I'm just going to run in there and beat it up as is, and I'll just take the extra bond when I get it. But if you are one of those min-maxers, this could actually be really good for you. Another thing that can help you out if you're kind of struggling with the event, which again, I don't think you will, but the summon CEs actually give you different damage bonus, and they progress based on their rarity. So the 3-star will buff your rare and lower servants. The SR one, the first gold one, will give you a buff to your SR and lower servants, and then obviously the 5-star one buffs all of your servants with the highest damage buff. So if you are struggling, or maybe you just don't have your skills leveled, or your characters aren't fully ascended or anything, and you just need that extra little bit of damage, or maybe you're just really struggling with the challenge quest or something, make sure to utilize the gacha CEs, because even if you don't go in the banner itself with the 5 or 4-star CE, you can always run the friend point gacha and get all the 3-star CEs you need, provided you actually have a decent amount of friend points. Now, I guess since we're talking about the gacha CEs, we can move into the absolute onslaught of banners that we're going to be getting during this event, because there are a lot of them. First and foremost, there is the actual headliner for the event, that being Medusa Saber herself, who is quite a good servant. But if you want a more in-depth analysis on how good she actually is, I uploaded a video yesterday kind of talking about that, but we have a couple of extra banners. The second summoning campaign is going to be with Bakken and Lo, Lobo. Now, I don't really think this banner is worth going on, especially given the power of servants we're going to be getting during the anniversary and during the summer event itself, but I personally like Bakken, and if they're your favorite character, then sure, by all means, you can use some Saint Quartz to try to get them, but if you're gonna ask me if it's worth going on, no, I would not summon on this banner. Same thing for the Summoning Campaign 3 that's going to be bringing back Huyan and Huangfei Hu, who, even though I was a really big fan of in their event, and Huyan is kind of getting up there as far as servants that I really like. Unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but you're really not going to summon for a quick AoE when we have a really insane Buster AoE and an Arts AoE coming out for Anniversary and Summer respectively, and also just some really good servants in general with people like Summer Castoria or Summer Chloe. But again, maybe you're struggling with the event, or you're just like me for real, and you gotta get your grubby little mitts on Huyan. By all means, go after that. The one that I do think might snipe some people's Saint Quartz, if they don't get you on the Saber Medusa, they might get you onto the 4th banner, which is just a massive rate up of characters, because the first one is bringing Miss Crane, and probably more importantly and more eye-catching is going to be Sith, because I know everybody likes their goth emo girls, and they're not going to be able to keep their grubby little mitts off this banner. At the very least, they were nice enough to put Miss Crane on this banner. I do think Miss Crane is a solid servant. They just kind of take a little bit to actually use, and the biggest problem is actually team cost, because she likes to plug suit herself around, and that's an additional 5-star support you have to fit into your already limited team cost. Fun character to use and is legitimately good, but worth going for off their own merit? I wouldn't say so, but maybe it tempts you because it's like, oh, well, Miss Crane is technically this nice bonus support and Sith is on the banner. I wouldn't do it, but if you want to, by all means, go for it. Galatea is going on right up with Gorgon. Again, wouldn't recommend summoning on that one, even if Gorgon is pretty good now on JP, now that they've kind of tuned her kit a little bit to be in line with the Buster meta. And the final one is Vitra, and I think the only person that might be halfway wanting to summon on this banner is me, because I still don't have Steno in my account. I know, could you believe such a thing? For some reason, I've been playing this game for like 7 or 8 years, and somehow I have not gotten the boogeyman of Yu-Gi-Oh, the character Steno, so I'm kind of tempted to go on the banner, but I don't think I will, because it's a terrible use of your Saint Quartz, and I kind of like seeing how long I can go before I pull Steno. I just think that's kind of funny. And yeah, that really is kind of it for the whole event. You're just going to be going through, clearing different stages. Again, remember, you cannot use any of your friend supports to carry you through that, because that would kind of kill the entire purpose of the event. You know, using your characters and managing them and your rest spots and all that good stuff. So there are no supports for most of the battle, that being the main towers you're going to be going through, and then all of like those bonus tower things. I will say that as you go through the event, you will unlock these bonus quests. Do not forget to do them. Again, they're not very hard, they're not super difficult, but they do give you extra rewards, and you'll kind of get to do more stuff as you go along. There's pseudo boss fights every 10 floors you go up, but again, if you've played any of these tower events, these boss fights aren't really boss fights. They're not particularly hard, especially if you've already met the participation requirement of clearing Lost Belt 6. I mean, if you can get through the Cernunos fight, the Melusine fight, the Dog Bargus fight, and even people like Woodwos, I know some people have trouble with, if you can get through all of that, you are definitely prepared enough to go into this event, and you're definitely going to slap it around a little bit and then just collect all your wards. And that's just what you should see it as. It's just a nice little event that we're going to be getting, something to do before we actually get Anniversary here in a couple of weeks. A little Saint Quartz here, a couple of mats there to kind of use on some of the upcoming characters. But yeah, that's really it. I mean, it's bringing a whole bunch of banners, which I really do think the main point of an event like this is to try to take some of your Saint Quartz away before the actual anniversary drops. I mean, it's the same thing with JP. JP's getting really close to their anniversary, and they're like, oh, we're going to do another event. And this is always there to try to take a little bit of your Saint Quartz before the anniversary starts. That way you have less Saint Quartz, and then they think maybe you'll pay some Saint Quartz, pay them some money, you know, so they can turn a little bit of a profit. It's kind of a devious tactic. And again, you look at that last banner where they just say, just throw 50 billion different servants on there. I don't know, somebody will summon for Sith, somebody will summon for Miss Crane. But since you watched this video, you know that they are not worth it. The anniversary and summer characters are a million times better, so you're definitely not going to be summoning on this banner, right? But on that note, Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Again, if you're a newer player and you're kind of getting a little bit of nervous feet about this event, don't worry, it's not that hard. Again, I know it's ironic to say a new player going into this when you have to clear Lost Belt 6, but again, there are those people that just try to like bum rush through the entire story, and they're using their command spells and they're using their revival gems just to power through it. So they might be worried like, oh my goodness, I finished Lost Belt 6. Is this going to be really hard? Because that's a really tough requirement. And not really. It's pretty easy to do. Just make sure you stay on top of it. Make sure you are resting and recycling your servants into the rest zones in your battle, because technically you can kind of get time gated on this, I suppose, if you don't have enough servants to just kind of raw dog your way through it like I'm gonna do. Which, speaking of, we might go live whenever this event does actually drop. As you can tell from the audio in this video, I'm still out and about, but I do think the laptop might be able to handle streaming FGO. So again, I guess keep the description. There's a Twitch link down there, so if you want to watch that on Twitch or on YouTube, whatever have you, I stream on both to cater to your viewing preferences. Also, while you're down in the description down below, there's a couple of extra links. There's the Patreon if you want to vote on the Friday videos that come out and gain access to some elusive content. I hear I'm going to be doing a Nikkei video for the patrons exclusive, so if maybe that kind of interests you, that's going to be down there as well. There's also the Discord if you're really struggling with FGO stuff, or you just want to talk to people about lore and all that good stuff, that's going to be down there. Or you just feel like yapping about other games, sharing some memes. You know, we're all just kind of chilling in there, but I think that's all the yapping I got for you guys today. I know, sad, sad, sad. But the nice thing about this channel is that I'll always be back the next day with another daily FGO video. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace, late guys.